55 seconds left, and eventually you've got to make a move on the attack. So they're going to move in towards the B site, but the rotates are through. NIP have got Shanji already ready behind the spawn, but he's going to be naded out. Now the players in Boathouse are isolated. Shanji able to find one through the smoke, and the kills are going to NIP for a little bit. They have absolutely no idea that Kawanzin was there until the turret saw him, and he's gone. This is starting to go Fnatic's way.
Yeah, and the remaining two players don't really have the positioning to try and break back through. It's awkward for Bosa, though. He gets stuck in the mud, leaving it down into a 2v2 after plant. Both players to the back of site, and there's actually still a paranoia here for the defenders as they look to try and get back in. Oh,
that could be such a huge problem. At least if they're holding the doorway, they can maybe force those close range angles, but NIP used the paranoia just to get through onto the site to break through those choke points, and now they'll look to duel a shock dart out. Magnum's down, and that is a quick double for Bezany, leaving it into NIP's hands for the pistol round.
Yeah, and I think they are definitely a team that is going to be very important. They go off to a solid start. Like, they are a team that I've seen basically just momentum blast other rosters just by getting those superstar players rolling. And there is a reason they have someone like John around, even though he has those sort of sketchier performances. It's because when he has a good performance, you're screwed. And that's genuinely the case. The weird thing as well about this roster, which I think we were sort of talking about in the green room, is the fact that Kawanzin is the young 16-year-old, and he's playing Sova. And the two older, experienced players.
Third round, potentially. They just want to do as much damage as they can in this one.
Oh, wow. An early flash straight off the bat is exactly what we're talking about. The HUD hasn't even had a chance to catch up with everything because half the players are already dead. And while Kawanzin has done incredible work. 2 kills with the Frenzy from there. The flash almost grants another one for Bezany as well, but it is still going to be back into that 3v3 scenario. Now, just as in the last round, Mitch, too much damage here is already somewhat of a loss for Fnatic.
Yeah, it's 2 rifles, right? Fnatic didn't come in here with any sort of Spectres or anything like that. This is their full buy round to already lose 2 players and NIP to have 3 remaining, even footing. This is perfect. Now, the one downside for the NIP side is that they are set up on A. They've got all their utility there from Killjoy. They've got their players mostly playing around that area. And by the looks of it, I mean, Fnatic's spike was outside B. It had been dropped there. They went back and got it, but they haven't yet decided to go towards that B site. And depending on what they choose in the next couple of seconds, and Tom, they're starting to choose to go towards the A site. This could play perfectly into NIP's hands.
Yeah, no rotation yet. I like this from NIP, just almost gambling. Now the smoke going through into mid could be the fake that they need, but because the drone's gone through elsewhere, already 1 player being spotted. And on the other side, they're going to have to try and clear some of these closer angles. The paranoia leaves them completely blind. The swing comes through, but the trades are so good. Janjin coming up with a couple, and now it's left all onto Fearoth, and he can't quite close it. NIP off to a flyer of a start, 3-0 up, and they get themselves a free rifle.
That's an absolute tragedy to start out the attack side like this for Fnatic. I mean, NIP are going to be farming cash off the back of that. Just think back a couple of minutes. We saw them come in with 3 pistols. This was a
How's he get this second?
Super light buy.
He's also low. Just both players tagged.
And we're already seeing an investment coming out of NIP into an Odin as well. That's round 4 Odin buy. We can sit here and talk about Hybrid as being an insanely strong duelist. Like I said, shortlist for pretty much every tier 1 team out there, but he's got to be able to put up the numbers. There's a great flash again from Shanji, but he'll be traded out this time. No one can quite res him back up, but they're not expecting BNJ to be here as well. And he's just getting away with murder. 2 quick kills on the back site and a spray down for 4. 6-0 NIP. They're not even breaking a sweat.
No, they're absolutely slammed as they attempt to try and break into that A site, and that's been the case for pretty much the whole of this game. The fact that Janji's only died once basically says that, considering he's got 12 kills and has been pressured the majority of the time, and finally they make it into the site, and you got BNJ there as well, just to do exactly the same thing. Like, sure, again, maybe some slightly weaker weaponry for Fnatic, but it's getting to the point where that's no longer an excuse.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by Shanji's right click so far. Like, those underhand throws with the flashes have been catching them off again and again. This time they were able to trade out 1-to-1, but the dude still survives the round thanks to his ult being down and was stopping them from using their utility on the way through the entire time. Now, straight away, Fnatic are going to start out this round with a lockdown, but It looks like it's going to be a big old fake because they're rotating to the B site. In fact, the spike was already waiting outside of B.
Oh my god.
That is ridiculous for John to get 2 there, and now he knows he's caught them trying to run back. I mean, the players on A don't need to move, though, because they've got a comfortable advantage to play with at this point. Don't believe your hood. There's only 3 players left for FNATIC.
Nice shot from Hyber. Oh, he's going to catch the second as well. Zhanji down, and, well, now they've at least got a little bit of hope back into this round. John's going to take the wide swing, and Hyber, well, he's just decimating at the moment. B&J might be about to make the same mistake, but I guess they don't expect another player to push through that angle. B&J will be able to clear at least this closer angle, but they've got to get rid of Hyber, who's looking to almost go for the ace at this point, but will fall back.
There's the reveal. They know both players are coming from the market of 4K for Hyper secured, and there's the ace. Well, we wanted this guy to turn up. We needed him to show something big. An ace will do it. That's just about enough, you know?
Yeah, no, it's well, like it's always weird when something like that happens. Like, I want, for anybody who doesn't know too much about Hyber, currently on Koi, a player who's been playing in the under divisions of the VCT and EMEA, someone we've seen for a long time in different mixed teams, and someone with the nickname the Hibernator.
And you know what? I've heard so many horror stories about organizations. So let me just say, I spoke to Hyber, and he said that Koi were extremely cordial and made it so easy. And actually, it's dragged some rotations over as well. You know, just a little bit of utility being used up here by FNATIC, and it's really selling it to NIP that they're defaulting back to the same old A play. 4 players on this A side, and 1 way outside in spawn with an Odin. Still dangerous, though, and especially with the recon online. They need to destroy that right away, and they have done just that. What a spam!
Oh, just guess.
Darts.
Actually, they've got the lockdown, but they won't actually cover out the back of the site, and because of that, some of the positions are still going to be hold. Hyber is at least slowing them down a little bit. The remaining 2 are stuck in the back of the site, but remember, there's still 1 man lurking in the dark. It may not matter, though. B&J's just gone sprinting in. Now, they need to get rid of Fearoth, and they don't know. They don't know the boaster's behind. He could just end this round on his own. The first goes his way, and now the panic sets in for B&J. A solid flank to give them the round, and well, it's now 3 in a row for FNATIC.
You know what's interesting? There's 2 players currently holding this entire map. Between John and Bezany, they have the entire map covered. The rest of the players are just kind of in position to react to whatever kind of control comes through. Obviously, you've also got B&J peeking aggressively on A long to try and catch a pick. But they're not being given anything. And with 45 seconds left, again, we put the pressure onto FNATIC to make their way up to blitz on in. Hyber is going to be spotted and taken down. John is clean with 2 quick kills. And NIP have got control over this round. And FNATIC have to blitz out into John, who just keeps on delivering. Fearoth will try his best. 5 HP and ace needed, and it's not happening today.
We've had a Hyber round, and now we've just had a John round. Dear Lord. And half of those shots as well, I felt like my brain couldn't even react to the fact that it hit the shot.
That was
like,
nuts.
Just the shot number 2. Whereas like the first one, I was like, I don't even feel like he corrected quick enough to hit that second shot.
Oh, here we go. Second time. He's not even aiming at him as well. That bullet just went where he willed it. Unbelievable. And he almost got Fearoth as well.
And so I don't know how useful that's necessarily going to be. Early utility already expended, and Hyber's actually just gone straight through it! He just dashes into Shandy's face and just takes him out before he can even react with the flash. Benzi's also just gone down to a nano swarm. It leaves B&J as like the lone defender of this site, somehow dancing between the remaining players, keeping things close. Now John comes through, just tapping away at their heads. And this is starting to get dangerous for FNATIC.
I'm not even sure how B&J's still alive. That Hunter's Fury's looking for John, and it almost catches his feet. He noticed at the last second. Oh, and with that kill on the Boaster, the round is already done. Fearoth cleaned up in the end. 8 for NIP. That there's going to be a paranoia, I think, moving up through main. Already spotted that John's up close. I mean, you've got to deal with John. You know this guy. He's going to take 3, 4 kills if you don't take him down. He's pushed through with an Odin. What a madman. The Odin wall bang from Fearoth to finally deal with John. This is where the rest of NIP come big. And it's Shanji, the flash again. But only 1 found on the back of it.
And the remaining players are still yet to rotate through. The paranoia won't really grant anything. Oh, never mind. Blinds Mystic enough that he can't do much, and Fearoth left in a 1v2 scenario, unable to get the spike down, but he picks both of them, but he can't quite get anything. They managed to dodge just through the edge,
10 bullets.
trying to get something. Oh, there's no way he clutches this with just 10 bullets of an Odin. First kill goes away, but he switches, and now the time becomes the issue. Just 12 seconds left, and BNJ will swing. It is going to be NIP to take this half in a 9-3 fashion. Very dominant from then. You've also got an aggressive position already being held by Hyber. He's just going to try and hit the headshot and get out of there, and unfortunately, no headshot to be found.
At least he does the latter, getting out of there safely. Turret going to be destroyed up close. John with the reload, and this Danger Man's now moving into the site. Already tagged up once, flashed up, not able to get too much done at the start, but now here he comes, closing in the distance, and this is where the frenzy really thrives. The shots aren't going to land, and one headshot's not quite enough, but it has weakened up Magnum, making it easier to be taken down by BNJ or Kawazine, but never mind. In the end, FNATIC take that. A 4th round found, and honestly, that is a round they desperately needed considering how far behind they are.
Yeah, it's a lifesaver, and you have to bear in mind this is their map choice as well. So the one thing we can say is, okay, they haven't had much time to practice, but I imagine they're choosing a map that they have had time to practice. So.
I would hope it's at least their second best map coming in. So,
well, this is a straight up B push. There is nothing other than this. They are all going straight through B main, and FNATIC have been... No, I don't think so.
Yes, I mean, at this point, they have to just play hard retake. There's no way to get back in there and try to fight this, surely, but hold on, maybe they're going to pop that flash through. Johnson, the smoke! He's taking a triple! What is this guy doing? Still alive as well, running around and taking heads. This guy is just something else. Fiorot, the final man standing, as a 1v3 with a Sheriff in hand, and I think I know the end of this story. We'll see. There's damage done at least to Kawadzine, but with John still alive.
I've seen someone clutch a situation like this with a Sheriff.
Don't you even start. Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
Not my
It's the next map up as well, and Fiorot's on the server. I don't want to hear about a Sheriff 1v4 on Split, okay?
He's got a rifle now, and he's just going to leave. To be honest,
right call.
If he can get even one kill and then leave, this is actually a really successful round for FNATIC for a bonus. Of course, they're in a spot where, realistically, winning it would have been ideal just to get them back into a position where they have a good economy and they can actually start to close this out. How much damage can Fiorot do here? He's got himself one. Anything more would have been great, but John is he's just lightning fast on those duels.
So can we just summarize? I don't know if we have a replay ready for John, but this guy ran on the B side, ran into the smoke that they had put down for spawn. By the way, they knew pretty much that it was a retake, because look at the amount of utility coming through from spawn. They'd already seen that there were players in market.
He's actually crazy.
He just runs in, takes this fight, then just dashing away.
But
Yeah,
it's also when you know that your opponent has like weaker weapons, to do this is insane. Like, it's actually insane.
You can see that they're being cautious and droning out mid, but it's in B main that you can see Hyber scoped in, waiting for someone to step out. BNJ is sat there with the spike. He's about to step on into the crosshair. Luckily, it's Kawadzine that goes down, though.
Oh, the flash is so solid. Oh, Fiorot actually manages to find a double. This is looking so clean, and BNJ is the only one left standing. Stuck within B main, the rotation already coming through from Boaster just to deny his spot, and they have players watching on that flank as well. Mystic will catch him with a knife out, but, well, doesn't manage to get much else.
Yeah, the jump keeps him safe. He's stepped back a second just to give a little bit of a clue that he was TPing away. But he was still tucked in the corner like Mystic knew. So that is going to be another round picked up by FNATIC. But, you know, there's still a long enough way to go.
Yeah, in all honesty, this is the side where I think if Hyber was going to properly pop off, this is where you'd expect it. That defensive side operator is something that we've really enjoyed watching from him, but also his role on the attack is much more of like...
He's got that operator, and we'll see exactly what he's going to do with it. Hyber has some other ideas as well, and he's actually watching the same angle, but he's pulled off it. He's heard a player inside of mid putting up that turret, and he wanted to go and look for anyone coming out of market. His timing is going to be key. Oh, again, they miss each other. Ships in the night, and eventually John will land the shot. And it's Magnum that he's taken down, now swinging wider. Hyber will catch, will trade. And Shanji's losing some HP, but they've got the A site for their troubles.
Yeah, there wasn't much to stop them because of the setup that was in onto mid, so it's the same after plant, which FNATIC have been relatively good at getting back in on. They also have nearly all of their utility. They didn't use
Mystic.
any of it in the early stages of this round.
You naughty boy, Mystic. He's holding it. He knows. Oh, oh no, the timing. Oh, the timing.
Okay, he gets there in the end. It's fine.
Whew, that wasn't an awkward fight. All right, so NIP in a position on site. 3 players left alive. FNATIC are going to be blitzing in. They've even got the Blade Storm to work with here. Hyber looking to find some victims, and there goes Mystic, but NIP just can't find the kills. They need BNJ, the last man alive, to go huge. No one's cleared down below. He's already got 2. BNJ gets it done. 11 rounds for NIP.
Wow.
This guy is an animal on the A side.
Well, that's what you call a Red Bull clutch. Like put that one in the montage. That was ridiculous. And then this is the thing. Clear under Balk from now on, forever. Check it. Even if you're sure, send a first player in under the Balk, have a look around, then they leave, and then send another player in just to check if BNJ is hiding there, because that is now 2 rounds that he has won from the exact same position because they could not kill him.
That's a big miss. As they start to push in, Hyber going to be finding one from afar. The Odin trying to take him down and doing a damn good job of it. Boaster, oh, he's going to be caught. That play not quite working out. Fearoth will do his best from up above. 2 kills already under his belt. He's ready for more, but has to back out. 10 seconds left. Hunter's Fury to try and tag them, take them down, but he won't be able to deny the spike plant. He won't be able to get the kill with it either.
Close.
And Magnum, well, he almost catches him shifting over towards the boxes. But they've missed again, and this is so scary. That Odin tucked in the corner. Bezany able to react off the back of it, and that's so beautiful from NIP. Now on map point. NIP were playing that Odin wallbang every single round, so they know well to avoid those early sprays, and it's a fast play in through market. But FNATIC have stacked up with 3 players currently on the site. The weaker weapon's going to be put to the test. Hyber already finding the first, but they've let John right through. He's come in through market, taken the first, and now look at Shanji in through the smoke. This is a textbook play for NIP, apparently. Oster not able to get anything done. This is left down to Fearoth. He's got to take down the final 3 players, and Spike is right in front of him. He's even upgraded to a Vandal. He's not going to be detected up close, but the flash is about to come around the corner. That is huge for Shanji. Those flashes have been, hands down, the most impactful KO flashes that I have seen to date.
Yeah, and coming into this series, he was not someone that normally plays on this agent. In fact, we've seen 2 other players within his team actually play on it, and that's Kawazine and, of course, John. So the fact that he's brought this in as like a sort of niche pick and played incredibly well, especially within their defensive setups, I feel like he was just making things, well, at least within the first 6 or 7 rounds, really, really tough for FNATIC to actually just deal with his plays. And then you had John and BNJ just pulling out some of the most magnificent pieces of individual skill I've seen.
Position to set up well.
Oh, we're in game. We're in game. Okay, over to you, Mitch and Tom.
Sue trying to take all of the jobs, it seems. Like, coming in for our casting as well. She was like, they love Split, but I love it more. Just take it over.
Yeah, we've already had John taken down, one of the key players for NIP on this attack side. I mean, it's going to be a speed round if we've ever seen one. FNATIC over on this defense, starting it out on Split, and you can see there's 2 players. There's a Poison Orb down as well, so they've got a decent bit of slowing if NIP decide to blitz through onto the A site. But Heaven is wide open for the taking. There's the flash, information going their way. Now it's time to win those duels, and Magnum's in trouble. He's gone down, but these players are tagged up, and Boaster's taking advantage for 2. That's the man advantage still to play with for FNATIC. Well, that's not quite the TP he was looking for, but it's good because BNJ can then plant the spike, and maybe he'll go up thereafter. Probably not. Hopefully not, because FNATIC are already waiting, and Mystic's picked off his teammate. Oh, well, good night.
It's not the round for Shadow Steps. It's not the round.
Well, with that first round under their belt, FNATIC now face off against
It's a force.
Fine. And NIP have quickly taken it into Heaven. That is FNATIC caught off guard again. Mystic's going to have to... Oh, wow. That paranoia was perfect, and it even just confirms that he's here. They blitz in from all angles and take him down. Another fantastic execute from NIP. The way these guys apply pressure, you can see that FNATIC just cannot keep up with this pace.
Remaining.
Jandy already looking like he's put the nail in the coffin. It's left all onto Boaster. 1 versus 4, and well, not really getting the luck that he was probably hoping for, spamming in that smoke. This is the one thing I will say you have to love watching about NIP. Fearless, investing straight back into the round, knowing that they can try and put the pressure straight back onto FNATIC, especially playing on that attacking side. Making sure you get off to a strong start is always going to be important, building up that economy. And oh no, don't do it. Don't do it. I thought he was going to get knifed. Instead, he's just kind of sat on his head. Mystic in a very aggressive position. They did not expect it to be here. I don't know what the exit strategy was, though. It's just a very one-and-done position for him, which, okay, it might catch them off guard. And as I said, they've got the res, so it doesn't really play much in this round whatsoever. And for the remainder, you can already see Hyber still trying to be a little bit more aggressive, and Fearoth as well, just attempting to slow them down. But, well, he's going to have to do an awful lot. It does seem, however, that they've got a good read, because Boaster's already rotating into position.
Big problem, though. There's that other ultimate we mentioned, and it's looking for some players. Oh, he's found them as well. Good by Fearoth. And maybe the spray down. Sure, Shanji doesn't get it, but his teammates converted. The site's theirs, and it looks like the round might be 1v4 now with just Boaster left alive, and he loses his head quite quickly. This is NIP. A stranglehold on the game right now. FNATIC came in, they find a couple of rounds, but when it comes to weapons in their hands, NIP look convincing, and now, thanks to that Prime Gaming Flawless, FNATIC will still be able to buy at least. So it's a lifeline in the early stages of the defense.
Yeah, and now they have all of the ultimates as well. So it likely will swing back in their favor. I think the main problem I have is it almost seemed like a misread on the ultimates that were on the other side. Like, if you're going to have Mystic that aggressive with no backup plan, if he gets a kill and goes down, okay, it's not the end of the world. But if they have a res, it's worthless.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, in a situation like that, I'm expecting him to almost paranoia. But for him to do that, he needs to have a player peeking out from vents. He needs to have a player coming out from heaven. And Hyber was stuck behind the smoke. He wasn't able to assist. So really, it was good counter by NIP as well to make sure those angles were constantly cut off. Now, this time, smoke goes down, same place, but NIP are going to play right through it. They want to try to take this control. Reactions there from Fearoth to put the slow on the floor, but that doesn't keep NIP back. Not for long anyways. The nade, it's not going to come through. In fact, they're just allowing these guys to make their way forward, and then Hyber pops the showstopper. A double kill for that man. That leaves BNJ all alone. And he is found and taken down. FNATIC with a third. That's a round they needed. You never know. But what I do know is Hyber's about to take a fight. He's up above in heaven, and he's got a teammate, Boaster, covering the cross. And he's playing reactive on the back of Boaster's flash once he sees them come across. There's the flash. It pops. Nade going down. And there's a player coming up close to him. But after seeing that nade, they've decided to back on off. Moving to the A site through main. Walling off heaven. That's control going their way. John taking a bit of a risk going back out, but Hyber narrowly misses the shot, keeping NIP into a 5v5. Oh, Mystic! He's been caught. Great game sense from BNJ.
Yeah, he tries to TP back, and it just doesn't work out. They've still got to try and clear this man, and again, that's just so difficult. BNJ just a rock at the back of the site, and well, the problem now is they've had to invest his res and they still haven't got rid of him. He's even just going to maneuver elsewhere, and they haven't cleared John. He just sits in the corner, leaving Fearoth all alone to try and clutch it once again, and BNJ even gets that final kill. Bezany on the other side is just selling this fake into A. It means there can't be any sort of rotation, but with the smoke down, it would have to be basically a pop straight through it. Now, they don't have the flashes available for that, so they're just going to walk straight in dry, but Fearoth only gets one.
They know Mystic's on the back of the side as well from that paranoia, so he's going to be taken down immediately. Hyber might want to try to blitz on site, but look who's waiting for him. John's in the corner. Oh, blast pack to try to push him into the nade. That's cheeky. Bezany's being caught on the mid lurk too. This opens up an avenue of approach for FNATIC, at least, still having Magnum online as they move towards the site, but that wall's already being used up. Utility's going to be limited. Snake bite to site doesn't find them. Good spam, but not following through for the kill. And John's still alive down below, although he'll be dealt with. Magnum in the 1v1 to try and clutch this out, but it's BNJ again on the other side of that smoke. He's tucked into the right, and Magnum won't catch him. NIP get away with another 5-3. We now sit. This attack side just keeps racking up the rounds.
Yeah, you can almost see the slight difference, even though they managed to win the round. The fact that they were playing that one more passively and lost their lurk a little bit earlier on, it definitely seemed like FNATIC had much more of an opportunity in this sort of position. Luckily, you still just have someone like John able to just win these individual fights, and it was only because Magnum actually pulled out 3 kills that one even became particularly close. And now you start to get into real dangerous territory for FNATIC. 5-3 down, no economy to really play with in this round.
And this is a big concern. 2 players still towards the A side of the map holding down this control. And NIP are going to be doing what has worked for them again and again, splitting in through heaven and trying to fight the B side. They need a ton of utility, but they don't really. They sort of waited back for it. Showstopper not finding it, but he still gets the kill down below. This is unbelievable. There just seems to be nothing that NIP can do wrong.
Well, no, what he did was wrong. It was disgusting. I feel gross, but like it's just the way that he flies into the site. The showstopper gets absolutely nothing because of all of the counter utility, and then just has that reaction instant headshot. Like that's a desk breaker. Like someone's just hit a loud bang on the stage with a punch through the desk because. Ultimately, at least in the early stages of that round, FNATIC didn't do anything wrong, but then NIP just come and break their whole setup apart.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely unbelievable. The fact that you see him fire the showstopper, fly through the air down below, being shot at the whole way, and then land and stylishly just tap away, take the kill. Like, oh, are you shooting me, bro? Sorry about that. NIP hunting down the final rifle. Magnum is surrounded from all sides. He's paranoid up and about to be dropped on. Oh, can't even get out with the weapon. 7 rounds secured for NIP, and look at FNATIC's economy. When we get back out of this, you'll see they're not in the prettiest of spots.
Yeah, and on the other side, they're not in a bad place at all. For the players on FNATIC, I think a 4th is a lifeline at best.
Well, here comes the paranoia to start. They're worried about maybe a judge up close. I wonder why. Well, he's on the site already. Shanji's blast packing in, opening it up. John trades out. They've got site control. Magnum's going to try and contest.
Oh, no.
That was not pretty. Not pretty at all. 5 versus 2. Mystic grabbing a couple of kills. This maybe makes it doable. And Firot's 1 away from Rez.
Yeah, there's at least a possibility here. He's going to try and fake out the TP to the side. The problem is the wraparound. There is the kill for Firot. Now they can look to try and find the res, but he's dropped down. No! He's missed out the player, and he's the one who's got caught, but he still manages to land the kills. What have I just witnessed? That's the ugliest clutch in VALORANT history, but it's a round on the board for FNATIC. It looks like they're just setting up for the retake with the rest of the players still being able to run back. He's doing that with a classic, just tapping heads through the utility, and well, okay, sure, it will be the site taken from FNATIC, but again, look how fast that rotation's already come through.
Yeah, of course, you got John picking up Mystic there. Another frag for NIP as they gear up for this full push. Boaster trapped down in sewers. He's so far away. And the rest of the team's falling. Firot does his best, but only the one to be found initially. And that went exactly as you expected in the 1v4. NIP have picked up the pistol, and that is another nail in FNATIC's coffin with 9 rounds on the board now. What did FNATIC do? We saw NIP lose the first pistol and then force buy and completely overrun FNATIC, but I don't feel like we're going to see the same out of the attack side for FNATIC now.
The other thing as well is a lot of the force buy. Sure, plant, that's the main necessity, but you also like to get a few kills just because it gets you those extra few pieces of utility. They got 1 kill.
And so 40 seconds left on the clock. They're going to go for this B split, but limited information. Luckily, they are gambling towards the right side. And that wall is going to completely block out BNJ. The blind doesn't do that much for them, and BNJ goes down. Esni following as well. That's the round secured for FNATIC. NIP have to pretty much go for a save. That'd be cool, yeah, if you could just take the spike, just hide it somewhere. No, it wouldn't. That would be terrible. Please don't ever add that. 35 seconds left. FNATIC are trying to blitz in through the A side, or at least they're trying to fake it out. They're making some noise. They're taking down Shanji and hoping that John's going to come pushing on through and try to take that space. But John, I love this guy, man. He makes the... So a lot of players are too aggressive, right? They can't stop W King, but John makes good decisions. And when he does get stupidly aggressive, he wins.
Oh, it could be a free kill, but it's only going to be the 1. Not anything more. Again, they've managed to bait away the rotation, and it was Esni hastily moving his way back forward. A swing, though, from Boaster. Gives up the kill. And now that they've got the res, they've managed to bring things back into a winnable position for NIP. Hyber spot, though, could be everything. They need to make sure they clear him. Fake the footsteps, though. It's so smart. They used the run to leave 1 player behind, and now it's all onto Mystic. Attempting the clutch, but he's stuck in the corner. The nade has done so much. There's no chance for him here. An oversight from FNATIC, but more importantly, a fantastic retake from NIP.
Man, the words that we heard from everyone essentially, puggy. That was the key term for NIP. And I'm not even going to disagree with that coming into the tournament. I'm with you. This is some of the cleanest VALORANT. It's like crew tournament to tournament, the way they just turned around and went from not playing good VALORANT at all to playing some of the best we've seen. This NIP is fresh-faced.
The steps in mid was so nice.
It's so smart. It really is. Everything about this is just so nice to look at. You can see all the work that's gone in, all the thought that's gone into a lot of these plays.
They have been able to isolate Cypher, at least in a 1v1 trade in most cases. So, again, looks like the same sort of pressure put in, but they did fake it the last time they did this, so I'll be curious to see if there's a rotation.
Oh, he's gone over the trap, but they noticed it's okay. It's all good. Ready for that. Here comes the showstopper. Hyber has to wait a moment. Oh, and that actually sets off his blast pack at the wrong time. They've left the site, but at the end of the day, it's done its job. It took space, it got them on the site, but Mystic with a doubles, absolutely insane. All right. Playing on into the Viper's pit. BNJ goes down. Bezany, 10 HP left, and he's good for one. I could see so much more happening there with how these rounds have gone. But Fnatic have dealt with it and left Shanji to clutch it.
Yeah, maybe one of the most impactful from the shadows you've ever seen. Mystic just teleports behind the whole squad. I don't think you see that work in pro play very often.
Not for about 2 years,
most of the time everyone goes, he's there.
And they're starting to realize this is a B play.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even though he hasn't got a kill, he's taken away that control. So there can't be anybody in this direction. Now, sure, they can look to split back. This has me on edge. This sort of bait and switch setup. I think they're just going to wait. No reason for Fnatic to try and make a play through this spot, especially without any utility as well. And they're almost trying to set this up so that Jandy can nade them back as BNJ goes for his initial pick so that it isn't just a straight up swing and trade. The time, though, Mitch, starting to tick down. 35 seconds left on the clock, and I think the B-side play looks fairly obvious.
Oh no, the shorty's got one, and now it's up close. Swapped out to a Vandal. BNJ already got a second. Down below, he's dealt with. A Bucky's come through for more. What is that? Bezany's got a double with a Bucky, and Boaster's 1 HP. NIP have just come into this round with a shorty and some pistols, Tom, and they've won it. That's unreal. That's actually unreal. And what a setup too.
It was
the fact
gorgeous.
that you've got the smoke. How well does BNJ play around his smokes, dude? He's all the time backside on A on Ascent right here up in heaven. God, NIP are good at this game.
Wait, it's just the way that he manages to consistently isolate Jules, and then you just got this. Like, Bucky within the cage, especially because he's played an almost identical setup. Like, it's the same way that he's been sat at the back of the site almost every single round, and this time he's just there with a Bucky. Like, not going to be expecting it on the other side. 4 rounds in a row needed for Fnatic, otherwise they are going to be heading into that lower bracket match, I believe, versus Zeta, who had real struggles in their first game versus DRX, but I think it's safe to say that Fnatic's form right now is nowhere near the level of DRX. Kwazin, he's not had much to do so far this game with how many B takes we've had, but the first time he's asked of, he's going to find a couple.
This is going to be tough. Already with the man disadvantage for Fnatic. No ultis in their favor. Hell, NIP don't have them, but except for the From the Shadows, and maybe that'll have huge impact based on what Mystic was doing earlier. The thing is, though, NIP can just sit down now. They've got beat control passively. There's still a wall up in mid, so they know no push is coming through, but, I mean, that's going to disappear in a moment. There it is gone. And with that, you see the rotation coming over, because now there's that extra angle to watch, so Shanji's got to come over and make sure nobody crosses through. They'll even use the From the Shadows as a recon dart, confirming that no one's in mid, allowing Shanji to go back to A. Fnatic need to move, because they are running into a stack now.
Yeah, this is an ultimate trap, basically. The flash, all it's really going to do is catch the can, but they have the information. The swings there from Zanji, but he actually goes down. An opportunity, but still 2 players within that site is going to make things incredibly difficult. The timing of the peak's good for Bezany, but he gets nothing done. John, though, he's that knife in the back. They didn't know he was here. Swings out already with a couple, and it is done. It is NIP to send Fnatic into that lower bracket, and they will go through to face off against DRX, a team that definitely came into this as one of the underdogs. But Fnatic, with their couple of stand-ins, they haven't looked right today.
There's no sleeping on NIP after this. I mean, Fnatic didn't play the best game we've ever seen, but NIP have played some beautiful Valorant right here and now.
Yeah.